This is Elvington Lane. The Yorkshire Air Museum, what was RAF Elvington, is about a half a mile behind me. About a mile or so in that direction is the main road into York and off to Hull. This is the site of currently York Maze, and this white building to my left is a children's nursery. 80 years ago, though, this was a farmhouse called Dunnington Lodge, and in March of 1945 it was the scene of a tragedy. There was also a landmark in the Second World War, because this is where the last German aircraft to be brought down on British soil crashed. It was part of something called Operation Gisela.
In the dying weeks of World War II, the German Air Force showed it was determined not to give up without a fight. In Operation Gisela, Luftwaffe Junkers Ju-88 night fighters struck at Allied bombers when they were at their most vulnerable as they returned to their bases. 117 of these aircraft flew over the North Sea undetected by British radar and reached British soil at points between the Thames Estuary and the North York Moors. At this point, around 450 Allied aircraft were also returning from raids over Germany. Here at RAF Elvington, a Junkers flown by Hauptmann Johann Dreher set its sights on a returning Halifax of 347 Squadron. Dreher had already destroyed a Halifax of 158 Squadron at Lisset near Bridlington. The Halifax, flown by Capitan Paul Notel, was warned of the attack and headed north towards RAF Croft. It was attacked by another German fighter and he belly landed the Halifax at a farm near Darlington, and his crew survived. At Elvington, the Ju-88 turned to attack the airfield, but clipped a tree and struck the farmhouse at Dunnington Lodge, where York Maze is now. The farmer, Richard Mole, his wife Helen and daughter-in-law Violet all died. Their son Fred survived, carrying his 3-year-old son Edgar from the blazing building. Dreher and his crew all perished. This was the last German aircraft brought down on British soil in World War II. Intervention by RAF Mosquito fighters brought Operation Gisela to an end, but in just a couple of hours, Bomber Command had lost 90 aircraft, in addition to the 9 reported missing on the raids themselves. The Luftwaffe lost 25 fighters and 37 personnel in the operation.
It's hard to imagine on a day like today, with all this traffic hurtling down Elvington Lane, just how much destruction was wrought here on that night in March 1945. And the tragic irony is that with all that effort the Luftwaffe put into Operation Gisela, the war came to an end just 2 months later with VE Day, when all the fighting in Europe stopped anyway.